to order the September 2021 Southbury Zoning Commission meeting. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, there's no reason for seating of alternates. We have a full house plus an alternate. Public hearings, proposed moratorium, temporary and limited moratorium on cannabis establishments proposed by the Southbury Zoning Commission. Before we open up the public hearing to public comment, let me just read a statement regarding tonight's public hearing. Tonight's public hearing is merely to hear comment and make decisions regarding a temporary moratorium on cannabis establishments. A moratorium will afford the Commission the opportunity to carefully craft a regulation addressing this new legislation. No decisions will be made at this meeting regarding cannabis establishments themselves. This meeting is solely for the enactment of a moratorium. Discussion and public comment should be geared to whether or not a temporary moratorium should be established. This establishment and changing of zoning regulations to regulate cannabis requires a separate public hearing, and at such time, interested parties will have an opportunity to voice their opinions. Once determined, the date of this public hearing will be highly advertised so that all interested parties and the public will have an opportunity to share their opinions. Okay, the sign-up sheet has gone around for those who want to speak. And do we have that in hand?
Anybody else want to sign in to speak?
There's no other opening statement required, is there, for this? And just,
I don't think so.
we're just hearing.
You just
Like I
open it.
said, we're not gonna make any decision on cannabis tonight. It's gonna be merely for the moratorium, which will essentially defer any decision-making till June of next year?
It's 9 months, so.
9 months? Yeah, June of next year.
Yeah.
All right, so, we'll start.
I'm Gail McTaggart. I reside at 239 Old Poverty Road in Southbury, Connecticut, and I'm very much in favor of this measured action of having a moratorium. I think all towns need some time to work this out and determine what the best course is under the zoning regulations. So I support it.
Thank you. Do we have a? Okay.
Hi, my name is Janet Brzezinski, and I live at 45 Bertiani Road in Southbury, and I wholeheartedly support the 9-month moratorium. I would love it to be indefinite, but 9
Thank you.
months is good. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything? All right, well, if that's the case, then, we can close the public hearing. So I move, hear a motion to close the public hearing?
I do. I move that we.
Okay, here a
enact
second?
the moratorium.
Any other further discussion? All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
Sorry.
Let's vote on, do we want a moratorium or not? So, someone please propose a,
I
propose
propose, go ahead, Brad. I was just gonna say, I propose that we move forward with a 9-month moratorium on our zoning commission decision as to what direction we want the town of Southbury to go in concerning cannabis.
okay, do I hear a second on that?
I will.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the moratorium?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, there's a 9-month moratorium in place. During that time, we will be working as a commission to write a regulation and/or determine where it could occur in town, in various zones in town. And I guess any input from the public would be greatly appreciated. All right. Moving on next to application 21155Z. PDD number 8, Regency Centers, 775 Main Street South, applying for a modification of detailed plans under 12.5.2B2I, and text amendment number 15, for the encroachment into setbacks under PDD Regulation 2.3.2, buildings to allow for refuse enclosure located within the required 30-foot setback of Building B for home goods.
Is the protocol that the speaker can take the mask off, or?
Go ahead. It's more comfortable.
Good evening, my name is Hugh Sullivan. I'm an architect with Bennett Sullivan Associates in Southbury. The package I passed out this evening is what you have for the record. The first is a letter, a designee letter, stating that I can act on behalf as an agent for the proposed refuse enclosure at the rear of Building B at Southbury Green. As you are aware, as we've discussed this, since the center was constructed in 1996, the Building B, or what is kind of known as the old Staples Building, is no longer a single tenant building, and now there are multiple tenants. HomeGood is the primary tenant there, and they want control of their own refuse. And they really don't want to co-share refuse with other tenants. So what we're before you this evening is to create a refuse area for that Building B that will be separate from the existing original one that was designed for a tractor-trailer drop-off. Also in your package is a copy of the application for the modification of detailed plans. On the third sheet is the letter to Chairman Giroux. As we discussed, the issue of having a refuse area is acceptable to your commission. We spoke about it, but in section 232 of the text, we needed to abide by the setback from Brown Road, which was 30 feet. And Chairman Giroux correctly pointed out that in the original text, the setback for the buildings was 30 feet from Brown Road, and this is what we need to get a modification to the detailed plans, as well as a text amendment for the project. If I could trouble you to go to the rear of your package, there are 3 11 by 17 sheets to just represent the work or the project. And on drawing SP 100, you can see in the where Building B is, the location of the proposed refuse area, which is 10 feet by 20 feet. Note that those dimensions for that refuse area were really worked on over a period of months with Eversource. As you can see on that site plan, Eversource has an electrical utility that goes along from Main Street South all the way through the linear park at the end of the parking of Building B, and on the entire backside and parallel to Brown Road. The easement itself is approximately 30 feet, and it's very restricted in terms of what we can do in it. So that current location that's represented on the drawing is what Eversource has agreed and to accept if your commission accepts as well. On drawing A101, again on the 11 by 17 sheets, we've specified the location of the dumpster. There'll be 2 8-yard dumpsters. All the materials on the proposed dumpster will match the existing building as well as the existing dumpsters that are there, specifically behind the current home goods. Those are what's known as a Norman brick that are set on top of concrete block, so there'll be a 12-inch thick wall. There'll be bollards on the back side of the building, and then gates at the front of the refuse enclosure for the work. On sheet A200, it shows the exterior elevations of the proposed project, and really at our last meeting where we were gathering information with your commission, we did raise the height to 8'8", so it will conceal the dumpsters, and the 8'8" height will match, that's the exact dimension of the existing refuse areas on the project site. Now, when we get to the text amendment, what I have done before is I've always created what I would represent as what's on the record, and everything that I have in red are what I would like to propose to change. Now, this would be known as modification 15. This is the number that your commission granted for this work, and it's a text amendment to section 232 regarding the setback from Brown Road for Building B relating to the zoning regulations for outside storage, section 729B. We're not making any changes to any rentable floor areas. There are no issues with coverage. This is a walled structure. There's no roof. It's not an instance where, you know, they're collecting rent for this type of work. And essentially what we're going to do here is we would like to, in this text amendment, revise section 232 for the new refuse enclosure behind B, and its location will not be less than 20 feet rather than 30 from the property line due to the electrical utility easement and widening of Brown Road for the 1995 traffic light installation, which created that opening at that intersection. I realize, and I have no issue, but I know from our discussions that your commission is going to refer this to the Planning Commission. So I look forward to going and making a presentation to the Planning Commission at their next meeting. And I would hope you could hold this hearing open so I could come to your next zoning commission meeting, and hopefully you'll have a referral from the Planning Commission regarding this request.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, thank you, Gil.
Any questions?
Any questions from the commission? All right, since this is a public hearing,
Yes.
I'll open it to comment from the public.
Yep.
So if anyone from the public wants to speak for or against, or have any commentary relative to this proposed work, please step forward and state your case. Looks like we have none now. We're going to be holding this public hearing open till next month, so there will be opportunity next month to say something again, so it's not closed yet. So do I hear a motion to pass this along to planning referral and move to keep the public hearing open till next month? Okay. Here a second?
I second.
Any further discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, new business, application 21243Z, PDD number 8, Regency Center, 775 Main Street South, applying for a modification of detailed plans under 12.5.2B2I, and text amendment, amendment number 16, to allow for an increase in ground coverage under PDD Regulation 2.1.1, Building A, to allow for an expansion of the existing shipping and receiving area at the rear of Building A by 1,946 gross square feet.
Mr. Chairman, again for the record, my name is Hugh Sullivan. I'm an architect with Bennett Sullivan Associates. I don't know why refuse seems to be so popular this month, but it is. This is for ShopRite on Building A, and consistent with my previous package, I have submitted the designee letter allowing myself to act on behalf of the owner as agent. I also have in the application the modification for detailed plans. I have a letter to Chairman Giroux outlining, you know, what we'd like to do. Is this something you'd like me to read into the record? Or would this be for the public hearing? I'm assuming you're gonna...
I mean, you usually say something.
Yeah, I mean, again, what we're trying to do here, I think it might be best if I could trouble you at this point to go to the 1117 drawings in the rear, just to acclimate you with what we're trying to do for ShopRite. On drawing SP 100, you can see the red block that's at the rear of the building. And that's 1,946 square feet. It's 35 by 55 feet 7 inches. And again, they refer to this as the receiving and staging space. If you go to the next sheet, X101, that existing kind of light orange color currently is how they deliver to the site, their tractor trailers. The problem that they're having since what developed with COVID is they now have more deliveries to the site, and how they unload the trucks. When this was designed in 1996 for Grand Union, how Grand Union unloaded trucks is different than how ShopRite unloads trucks. And so when they have two trucks that are back to back to a dock, they need lots of room for the, I forget what they call them. They're like motorized forklifts that they have palletized all kinds of groceries, dry goods that come in, and they just needed a larger back of the house so they could, you know, coordinate the receiving. It's not for storage because they don't keep inventory like that. The inventory is out in the store itself. If you go to the next sheet, drawing A101, you can see the light orange component that exists, and the darker orange is the proposed 1,1946 square feet. And what's gonna happen is they're gonna relocate the existing trash compactor and get a new one so it meets the newer requirements for the work they have. They are going to have 4 total areas where the tractor trailers can come into this structure, and they then will have enough room, as you can see in the light orange shaded area, those 4 squares that are there, that's how those tractor trailers backed up before. There wasn't a lot of space there. In the new configuration, they have plenty of room to work their mechanical horses to unload the trucks, as well as since 1996 till now, they need to create an accessible ramp off the back of this assembly to the grade, and that's on the back side of the structure. Again, within the package I gave to you, on the text amendment, I brought forward all the existing criteria that's in black, and what is in red will be the proposed additions that we'd like to do. And if you go down to just below the existing gross rentable floor area, in red, I have Building A addition, and I represent that it's 1,946 gross square feet, known as an expansion, receiving shipping space. I outlined the new proposed areas that would be for the project, and it's less than the required maximum on the site. If you see total permitted area, gross square feet, the total permitted area as a percentage of lot is 18.23. It's still below the 20% permitted. There is no issue with ground coverage, and there's no issue with ground coverage as a percentage of the lot. When you go to the second page, what I've done is I've represented modification 16, again, which is the number that this commission gave for the application. And at the lower portion of the page 2 is the proposed text amendment asking for the creation and expansion of the existing receiving staging area at the rear of Building A. The expansion and the addition will be 1,946 gross square feet, which will create a new grocery store floor area of 62,659 gross square feet. That's my presentation for this work. And again, I tried to get some more feedback. It appears that there are multiple refuse vendors that service the site for various tenants, because some of them have accounts with these, vendors. So, and lastly, on the sheet, I did create a text amendment for the regulation. Again, copying what was on record in the existing reg, and on the second sheet, in red is the proposed text amendment for this small addition.
All right, any questions of you?
My only question, are these raised loading docks
It will match the current,
existing?
they're all existing right now, and
Okay.
they are raised. So
Okay.
when the truck's back in,
Come right
they
out
can
the
walk
truck.
right out.
Okay.
Have they increased the door width going in and out of the store from the loading dock? Or
I don't, you see, right now, because we're in general plans, we're just trying to get the use approved. When we go to detailed plans, but I will point out to you that is something that they have a brand-new general manager down there, and he's reviewing this work, and they did discuss that in terms of whether they would go to 2 3-foot operators or 2 4-foot operating door assemblies.
Okay.
So, I'm assuming you'll receive this evening instead of public hearing?
We'll receive it this meeting, we'll ship it off to planning as a referral, and we'll set the public hearing for next month.
Okay, so, in your opinion, I realize this is in planning, but at their next meeting, I could present both of these applications to them, I would think? Okay.
It's
Good.
on the agenda.
Oh, okay, all right. That's my presentation.
You'll be on twice next month.
All right, good,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, number 2 on new business, application 21245-Z, PDD number 6, Comparog Woods Inc., Life Care Retirement Community, applying for a modification of detailed plans under 12.5.2B2I to upgrade the external campus with a landscaping plan and add an addition of a gazebo to replace the existing smaller gazebo.
Good evening, I'm Gail McTaggart from the law firm of Secor, Cassidy, and McPartland, and I represent the applicant, which is Pomfrog Woods Life Care Center. As some of you know, Pomfrog Woods is PDD number 6 in Southbury, and over the years since 1983, there's been a number of changes. What hasn't been updated was the landscaping plan. So William Kenny Associates and Jenna Kopinska that's here tonight are landscape architects that have been working, almost two years with the staff and the residents to discern what would make sense for not only for the beauty but also the program and usability of the site. the COVID situation is, made this even more important to be able to have places outside where activities can take place. So the proposal is to show you both a plan that shows both existing and proposed activities, because we're trying to put it all these pieces that came together over the years onto one set of plans. And I think that's helpful, was helpful certainly for Pompano Woods, but it's I think helpful for you too. So the plans that we've provided, and you should note that they're updated to September 6th. I think I had August in my letter, but this is the September 6th update. It has one tiny change from the August one, and that is there's a portion of the Commons building that we had as proposed, but it's really already built, so it's there. So we just wanted to make sure that we had that correct. So I'm going to have Jenna go through some of the changes, but you should know that the wetlands has already approved what is proposed, and one major change is a beautiful boardwalk that goes both through the wetlands and out of the wetlands to allow residents to have a place to walk in nature, look at birds, sit and contemplate what's there, and so that there's everything that's to the south of the plan that you see that's up on the board. That area, Jenna can show you, but that area has all been approved by wetlands already. And that included some fencing. There's a new wetland meadow that's being prepared. That's not a wetland, but wetland plantings are going to be going into that area. So we'll go through it in more detail, but I wanted you to know that that's already been done. So Jenna, why don't you go ahead, okay?
Hopefully, I'm gonna try to be loud. Good evening, my name is Jenna, landscape architect from William Kenny Associates. As you mentioned, we would like to, we developed a master plan of the Pompano Wood to create more active, more areas for the active use of the property. That includes paths and boardwalk, where the path is going through the wetlands for the residents to use. The boardwalk and paths are following the perimeters of the property, and where we cannot put the path, there is fire lane driveway where also will be used by the residents for walking and hiking. With that, we also proposing a meditation garden with the fountain for quiet time for the residents, as well as more fun game area. There is a small gazebo which we'd like to replace with a much bigger one that can accommodate 30 people plus. The existing gazebo is way too small for the residents to gather. Next to the proposed gazebo, we have a bocce ball court. We have the 5-hole putting green. We have the lawn area designated for the outdoor games like chess, ups. Next to the existing cafe addition, we were asked to have a little sitting area with a gas fireplace. We are meeting all the fire code requirements in terms of distance from the facade of the building to the gas fireplace. I'm sorry. Many of the residents do have pets like dogs. Often we do have we fenced a portion of the yard, side yard, to create a dog park. It's off the side. It's not visible for the visitors coming into the main entrance. And to kind of create there's maintenance area by the existing garage. trees, shrubs, and herbaceous plantings. Along the edges, every 20, 30 feet, we do propose benches for the residents to rest during the stroll. We also have areas that can be used for the picnic. This is the area of the existing terrace where we would like to build a little better barbecue grill, and also the lawn game area is big enough. We are showing a few sitting benches, and also that can be used for the picnic tables. That's pretty much the overall of the proposed improvements we would like to present today. And if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Questions?
The application that we submitted has a list of the native plant material that's proposed, that's on page 9, attached to my letter. And there's also a full-size plan and some reduced size plan showing how the boardwalk works, because that boardwalk is very interesting. It just comes down with little muck pads and pipes that stick up and hold it up, and gets leveled, and it doesn't have, there's no digging or any disposition of soil to put that in. So that's a really nice,
Part of the application is the detailed sheet with the boardwalk design. And like Gail said, we're not going to interfere with the existing soil. The boardwalk is going to be sitting in a place on top of the soil that the place will evenly distribute the weight of the boardwalk itself.
and you also should have a picture of what the gazebo will look like. It's about 393 square feet bigger than the amount that's there now, so we're not taking up very much of the coverage square feet, and we're not going over what's already permitted for the PDV. So it's all within that area. The gazebo is, I think, 16 feet 9 inches tall, and we'll have, it's really the only structure, when we went to fill out the zoning permit and try to figure out what was being built, it's the only thing that's a structure. Everything else is basically landscaping and terraces and boardwalks and recreational areas that are there. So you have not only a special permit modification to ask for approval of the landscape plan, there's also a zoning permit that is part of the requirements of your zoning regulation. And I think with that, the only other thing that I thought you might be interested in is I did provide in a footnote in my cover letter the number of square feet of the whole project, the number of square feet of each one of these areas, even though they don't count mostly against the square footage, just so you'd know what was being added. And I think I can tell you what's happening right now is that residents go out and use the driveways for walking, and that is not safe. They want to do that, they want to go outside, they want to walk, and they end up walking where cars come in and out. So this boardwalk and the extensions of it and the walkway are really important to the residents and to this application.
All right, no questions? All right, this is submitted as a change to detailed, modification of detailed plans. First thing we have to decide is major or minor modification. Minor, we can handle tonight. Major has to go to planning as referral. My personal opinion, it's a minor modification.
I'm sorry.
It's a minor modification, major improvements to what's out there right there now. So I don't see any need to beat it to death here.
No.
So, I think, unless there's anything else you wanna say, Gail, if I heard a motion,
No, I think
To
it
approve.
pretty much speaks for itself.
yeah, I mean, it looks nice, it's gonna look nice. It's gonna be very, very helpful to the residents.
Gail, do they have a time schedule that they're thinking this will be completed by?
Well, seasonally, we're probably looking at next season for some of the plantings and some of the things that are going in.
Yeah,
So
the
about
hot,
1 year round, it
Right.
should be completed?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, second, Brad, second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion on this? All those in favor of this modification?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against?
I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
thank you.
All right, next is correspondence. What do we have for correspondence? This? All right, it's a notice from the town of Newtown for application text amendment. Planning and zoning commission will hold a public hearing regarding the below reference application. And there are two applications. One is at Taunton Hill Road, which is where?
Oh, hell, I thought it's over by exit 9.
That's the other side of town.
Yeah.
But we're in a budding town, so we have to comment on it. Any commentary?
Well, I'm sorry, what
We
are they
really don't care, it's too
proposing?
far away.
I think it's just a text, or
It's a text amendment to 3.01.531.
zoning regulation.
Zoning regulations.
Just, okay.
So as to allow 2 apartments per 1115. So 2 apartments per 1115 horse stalls, 3 apartments per 1625 horse stalls, and 4 apartments per 25 or more horse stalls. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Are they calling it for sales apartments?
I don't know.
I mean, are the apartments for the people?
That's
or-
right.
I don't know.
Or do
Is
they
this
call
all for
stalls
horses?
or
Is that
do-
what this is
Do they
for?
call stalls now apartments for horses? I don't know.
Well, it's, wait a minute. It said, when did we get this? August 5th? This is September. It says here, on August 19, 2021, the Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing. Public
In
hearing's already
Newtown.
held, so
Well.
In
I think-
Newtown?
this is
Yeah,
after the fact, Newtown.
I think we didn't have a meeting in August, am I correct?
Correct.
So that's probably why
Oh,
that's.
okay, yeah, that's right, okay. And the second application was for public hearing held on September 2nd. So, it's all after the fact anyway.
There it is then.
I'd like to see those apartments for those horses,
Yeah.
however.
Oh, okay, 10 horse stalls, 1 apartment, 11 to 15 horse stalls, 2 apartments. That's not what it says in the front. I guess for every 10 horse stalls, you can have 1 apartment.
Is that like where people live
for
near
people
where the
or-
horses are quartered?
Could be. Doesn't really explain it too well, but either that or for stable hands or something, I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, it may be for the people who actually are the caregivers for the
Work there.
horses.
All right. Enough of that. Minutes of the July 14th meeting. Any issues?
They look good.
They're good,
Yeah.
they're good.
They were fine.
Any bills?
No.
All right, since I still see some people here, it doesn't have a item on the agenda for the public comment or
That's
public.
because it's a special meeting. There's not any
What's
other.
that?
Other business can't come because it's a special meeting.
There can't be anything added to it. the
All right,
agenda.
so
It is what it is.
it's not other business, it's just, can't people just say something?
I don't know.
Don't know how
Not
that-
Mm-hmm.
really business.
Can we ask why they're here?
I mean, if they would like to.
Is
well,
there
the
something that
public
you all
hearing's
are here to
closed.
talk about?
I'm
Oh.
not
Guys
No.
here
Oh,
for a
okay.
reason? Just,
Oh, reporter,
All right.
that's good.
we don't have to worry about it.
All right,
Oh,
so
that was easy, thank you.
then I guess we're done.
Maybe you have to call for a motion to adjourn.
Yeah. I'll hear a motion to adjourn.
Yes,
Can I
I'll
ask a
move.
question before we
Well-
adjourn?
Yes, you may.
I understand of something I read today, I don't even know whether it was on the patch or whatever, but it was my understanding the town of Southbury is going to be hiring a firm to review our zoning, criteria, and, to look at it and make recommendations.
We went up to bid, we went
Did
up
I
to,
miss
we
that?
solicited bids for, Jess, you wanna?
It would be more like a reformat and reorganization of the
Right,
current
right.
zoning regulations. The firm would work in concert with the zoning commission. It's not like they're unilaterally taking the zoning regulations and
So they're gonna advise us.
they're gonna advise you, but there's not gonna be, so they haven't been updated in quite some time, and the updates that they've had have been piecemeal. So they're really challenging to read and interpret. There's a lot of gray areas. They've been written in such a way that there is a lot of gray areas. So that's what we're trying to deal with. And once they're kind of reworded and reorganized, then the new legislation will be addressed in them. And down the road, we'll budget for rewriting of certain sections that really do need it.
Needed work.
But I definitely, I didn't intend to leave the zoning commission out. It was a challenge to get the RFP, the request for proposal, written and put out there. I intended to talk to all of you. I've been in touch with Gary about it. But the firm that will be doing it will work with all of you. So it's not like.
I just, it was, I thought, gee, did I miss that?
No, no. It's been a work in progress.
Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, so I guess we're done. I just noticed these two memos from Kevin.
He usually reads it. Oh,
He's not
he's
here.
here. He's
Kevin.
here. All good?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
That's okay, Gary, no, we move forward, so I don't wanna slow.
I kind of, yeah, I guess you're gonna say something that is basically in support of what is being
Right,
proposed.
and since they're left open and they're moving on to
Can have the
plans,
next
there's no need to.
Yeah, there's, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see you back there, I was looking around, and I couldn't see you. I didn't look around.
Can I make one more comment before we adjourn?
Yeah,
I would simply like to say that, Tia, I was very impressed with the information that you shared with us. It was comprehensive, it was professional. I've served on this commission, I don't even want to tell you how long. But thank you for some very, very good work, and I appreciate it, and I'm sure
Thanks
our
for
whole
saying
commission
yes,
does.
Ty, the two memos you put together will be part of the public hearing next month.
Sure.
I mean, it's staff's report, and we'll read it into the record. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. Yeah, we've always needed something like that from staff, we never got that.
But
Never.
I,
Just started, and Ty has picked it up, and
it's
so
been excellent.
it helps us tremendously.
Good. Now, do you want me to move to adjourn?
If you want to get out of here.
I move that we adjourn the zoning commission at, what is it? Wow,
It's early.
8:17.
The two public hearings? Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Two public hearings are done early.
I'm
I
glad
like
that
that.
recording.
Yeah, we've had a lot shorter meetings
Okay.
recently.
Yeah.